There are no American combat forces in Laos.
Despite President Nixon's words, the events that took place in Laos 5 decades ago during a top-secret war would completely alter my life forever. My father, Staff Sergeant Richard A. Fitz, was a Green Beret who was killed in Laos on November 30th, 1968 on a classified mission.
3.2 million Americans served in Vietnam. Of that, 20,000 were Green Berets. Of that, 2,000 served in SOG. Of that, 400 to 600 ran recon, of which your dad was one. And so those numbers tell you how elite the unit was and what your dad was a part of.
We got the word that there was maybe 300 surrounding us, 300 people, and they just started shooting anybody around us. And they kept on shooting all day long.
When we came out, General Stilwell was waiting to congratulate us personally. He had been listening to the whole thing over the radio while Krauss was calling back for airstrikes. He made the remark that it sounded like World War broke loose on that goddamn hill. He said the only thing he wanted to ask us is where we got the balls to ambush such a large force with only 12 men. Less than 6 months after my father had sent that letter, the fateful mission my father was killed on would occur. The government, however, would not admit any knowledge of his death and would keep his status as MIA, or missing in action.
They had all the files on each individual table with family names there. And on it was a file that said top secret classified on it. And the file was empty. There was nothing in it.
It was all about national security. The details of my father's death had been kept from our family for almost 30 years, and still classified when he was buried. Picture your own son, daughter, or husband missing in action for years and not having any answers. That can take a serious emotional toll on anyone.
No thanks to the government.
And here is Junior, the only son of my father, the direct descendant. Not only did I look like him, but as well carried his name. And for me, over 2 decades later, it would all come around again in the form of a folded flag that I would receive graveside at my father's funeral. As I would continue to weave through a myriad of questions, seeking out whatever I could find out about my father and the mission that, along with 6 other Green Berets, would ultimately take my father's life. For God and country, and for our great nation.